Well, good morning, fellow creators. Ben here from Cineblock Studios, and fair warning, this is kind of a mixture of a studio vlog and a house vlog. Because I'm starting in the studio, but you're not going to see me paint anything. So feel free to leave now. Oh, cool, you're still here. So, I'm mostly just wandering around in the studio right now, trying to kill some time until the hardware store opens. I have to stop at the hardware store for some little candle light bulbs, since apparently the only ones I have are orange, and orange doesn't really work for Christmas lights. And I also stop at the grocery store on the way back for vanilla extract, because I ran out of vanilla extract yesterday. Today officially marks the 1 week out from my annual Christmas party. And if you haven't already been able to tell, things are not where they normally are. I'd say probably just noticing that here, because you guys can't see everything else around. I'm starting to clean up the studio a bit, because this table becomes my buffet table. I'll clear it off, I'll throw down a black tablecloth, and then it becomes just that table. It's not that I can't get a painting done, it's that I literally won't have the attention or motivation to do so. I actually woke up earlier today than I normally do, strangely enough, because I'm apparently excited to bake cookies. Now this vlog is actually going to be a little interesting too, because I'm going to take you guys through some of my other creative endeavors. talk to you guys about some of the recipes I do for my party every year, and share that kind of stuff. It's still going to be a creative thing. It's just not going to be drawing or painting, which I know what you guys come here for, but who knows, maybe there'll be some nuggets of wisdom thrown in here too and everything like that. Also, this vlog is going to span through the party next weekend. So this video will probably go up the following Sunday. Last week's video about the 5 papers, which I actually just recorded last night and edited, because I was like, let's get this out of the way. We'll start playing with vlog stuff later, and then we're just going to do that. Okay, I'm going to quit talking. I could probably ramble for another 10 minutes, but I don't want to. I'm going to finish my orange juice, run to the stores, and start baking. Okay, so I'm still here. Put the other lens on the camera for the wide shot. In putzing around a little bit and cleaning up some shelves, I'm like, you know what? I should probably clean this table off this weekend. Pretty much because if I'm thinking about my food schedule for the week, I'm not going to get another chance to do this in a relaxed state, so I'd much rather do it now. Certain things I just have dedicated places for this time of the year. Yeah, I was moving mostly stuff on the gesso shelf and everything, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is where I normally put all the medium jars and everything. So I might as well just start doing that. Jars of things, you know. Keep running out of space. It's like, and every time I clean this off, like once a year I reorganize it, and it's right after the party. But it's like, I see it cleaned off, like there's way more room on this table than I even realize. So I just pile so much crap on it. Plus, now the cardboard backing I swap out maybe once or twice a year. I've actually been debating on whether or not to completely get rid of this entirely, as well as the cardboard, and just use the wood. Okay, oh wow. Oh, apparently I've sliced through this year. Maybe it is time to recycle the big cloth. Part of it is just like, it's a memory thing. Like, this cloth has been on my studio table here, yeah, but in the old studio too. So it's like, I want to say 2010 maybe that I've been using this same piece of cloth. Yeah, this thing might have to go into the archives of stuff. This is like just a nice big piece of plywood, you know. I must have just sliced right through the cardboard too, but yeah, they're just giant holes, giant slices straight through this thing. It was just an old bed sheet in the first place, but the stories this thing has to tell. What's crazier too is I can look at this with all the stains on it, and I could tell you what most of them are from. bigger splats. Like this is just a big oil stain. This happened last year. There's red in here that's spray paint. There's a lot of drips of definitely some oils and some mineral spirits and stuff on here. There's a lot of stuff that I can tell is probably watercolor. You know, I could probably throw it in the laundry and just see what comes up, but at the same time, again, it's like it's the patina of something old. You just get so used to it. What's nice about this is actually bigger than that white one, so it hangs more, hides a lot of my crap underneath the table. Okay, that's the bar for my party. Got like 6 or so select cocktails that I'll be making all night. Well, actually, technically, these two are separate because they're ingredients for a thing. Vanilla, extract, and electrical tape. Since when I was organizing my shelf, I was like, oh, I'm almost out of electrical tape. And I've been almost out of electrical tape for a while. Boop. Come on, you can do it. Let's go. Boom. Vanilla extract. I already have an open half bag. See, I thought something was off, because I thought for sure that the bigger bag doubled the recipe. Apparently not. It's still the same thing. There's a lot of talk on social media about being an adult sucks. And while my back does hurt today, I can eat cookie dough for breakfast. Mom's sugar cookies. Of course, the mom in this scanned version of the recipe card is my grandmother. Right, that's one. Beautiful golden brown. What's funny about this cookie sheet is it was pretty new when I got it. It wasn't brand new, but it was newer. It looks like crap now because I abused the hell out of it. A lot of people try to preserve like all of their stuff. Like artists do this with brushes a lot too. It's like, oh, it has to be perfect. The brush has to last forever. It's like, no, just use it. Just use it. It's the old-fashioned thing of having like fine china stored away. Oh, we get these plates out once a year. We never use them. It's like, they're in your house. Use them. If you're baking cookies, you gotta have a tester. Also, it's a warm chocolate chip cookie, so seriously. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yep. On the last batch, which is good because my tub's almost full. That is a big bunch of cookies. Go into the freezer. So I decided that I'm going to cut this recipe in half because while the full recipe is enough for a nice big family, or even a small family, it's way too much for me. As much as I like sugar cookies, I already have like so many freaking cookies, so cutting it in half is probably a good idea. Almonds. You know, I might not be painting some like amazing masterpiece right now. Honestly, not that I would call anything I make a masterpiece, because that's weird. But I feel like sometimes this is just as enjoyable. I'm still making things, I'm still creating. Might need a little milk to help this hold together. I'll keep things simple this year. Well, sort of simple. I'm dipping them in chocolate, but it's Sunday, it's about 10 to 12, and this is the first batch of sugar cookies. Tasty, tasty. Okay, so I have just under 4 dozen cookies, which is plenty for these. Using this upside down glass makes these perfectly nice little round things, which is good. This is some milk chocolate. This is actually 2 years worth of Easter chocolate because I just haven't eaten my Easter chocolate. I'd throw it in the back of my fridge and wouldn't touch it. So I figured this is a good use for it.
what of the tower now? Well, it's still there, awaiting the end of the inquiry.
It's Monday evening. I'm pitting cherries. 6:30, 20 to 7, almost 20 to 7. Grocery store right after work. Make sure the seeds get out of there. Ooh, right in the eye! Oh God, right in the eye! It's just cherry juice. Set the camera up on this angle and forgot to hit record. I filled this jar of these cherries with halfway up with bourbon, halfway up with amaretto, relatively cheap stuff, like bottom shelf, as cheap as you can get, really. The liquid makes a great cherry cocktail infusion that I don't have to, it's basically pre-mixed. The cherries we'll dip in chocolate in 3 days, and this is the remaining leftovers, which I also soaked as well to get that same leached out cherry flavor. Regular simple syrup, honey demerara sugar simple syrup, yeah, demerara? Or is it, I don't know, it's whatever, no, it's the other one. It's whatever sugar in the raw is. Sugar in the raw plus honey for honey syrup. Regular syrup and sweet and sour is in the fridge. And now, pre-boiled for deviled eggs. It is 20 after 6 on Wednesday. No, Tuesday. Crap. It's only Tuesday. Okay, now it's Wednesday. So today is a twofold. Whoops. Today's twofold. We have buffalo chicken dip pre-mix. We obviously can't bake it today, but we can mix everything up, throw it in an oven dish, and throw it in the refrigerator for later. And everyone knows how to make their recipe, so I'm not going to shout that one out. The other good one is something I only make maybe once or twice a year, and that is my tomato and roasted red pepper bruschetta, which if you're used to bruschetta and you get it in the store in this little jar that costs like $12, that's not what I'm making. Mine's more of what you might refer to. I kind of call it Italian salsa. It's like it's thin like a picante.
It's picante,
but it's Italian-y. And that's going to be a drained jar of roasted red peppers, a drained can of tomatoes. I usually use like basil, garlic, oregano tomatoes. 3 cloves of garlic, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, and roughly 2 tablespoons of basil, which I just pulse a few times in my blender, and it's perfect. Okay, back in the studio for the mini fridge. I decided, I was looking at my Friday stuff to do, that excuse me, I have more stuff to do Friday than I want to do on Friday, and I have to do some major cleaning on Friday, so I figured, you know what, let's do one of the Friday things today. That's an easy thing to do that is also not something that's really time sensitive, and that's to slice up the cheese. So for my cheese this year, I call it the Axis of cheese, kind of like the World War II Axis powers. My goal every year, not every year, my original goal was to do 4 different cheeses from 4 different countries. I've never been able to do that. It's always like, oh, it's like 3 Wisconsin cheeses and a European one. So I've got some bourbon Gouda, some smoked cheddar. I usually go for Gruyere. This is actually a cheddar Gruyere. And then my extra specialty one this year is some queso manchego. I'm probably horribly mispronouncing that. It's just a Spanish white cheese. So, aged 6 months. So, fancy Spanish white cheese. Happy Thursday. Cherries are out. That's awesome. That's all. Just about filled that. Oh, it smells amazing.
It's supposed to happen. There it is. It's the perfect treat.
Okay, I've got chocolate-covered drunken cherries. And the remaining chocolate, and then some, has been made into some peanut butter pretzel bark. Okay, back from work. It's been to the store. I did a couple final little things. I'm thawing out the popcorn chicken today. Mostly today is cleaning the house. I'm going to be prepping some of my little pizza roll things. Making some of the dipping sauces, but most of the stuff it's going to be fresh stuff to do tomorrow. But it does give me a lot extra time now, taking the half day to clean the house mostly. Okay, so this is the crescent roll sheet dough. And I'm cutting them into little strips, and each one of those little strips is going to surround 2 pieces of pepperoni and a slice of fresh mozzarella. Good morning, fellow creators. It is 6:11 a.m. I'm in my PJs, and this is it. This is all the more I can sleep. I am still quite tired. This gets me like maybe 6 or 7 hours of sleep tops. But I literally cannot stay in bed any longer. I am so damn excited. Like, you talk about little kids being excited on Christmas morning. This is my Christmas morning. Hopefully I might be able to squeeze in a power nap this afternoon. But that's it. It's all I can sleep. We're getting up, making my bed, and just, that's it. It's all, this is, start cooking, don't stop cooking. The years start coming and they don't stop coming. So here we go. Okay, so, Lord choose it, here we go. I'm literally shaking, I'm so damn excited. Alright, so, you gotta start with the most complicated and most time-consuming thing, which are the turnovers. Also, I was cleaning the ceramic cup in my bathroom that has a broken handle. Sliced the hell out of my thumb. I was running the top, just clean, and it went, and I'm like, wow, it's fast and it's deep, and yeah, this was a heavy duty bandage, and it soaked through the bandage. A lot of blood. So that was fun, which is going to make everything today way fucking harder. And this bowl is filled with this interesting slurry, you could say. It looks kind of like applesauce, and it kind of is. It's peaches and apricots with nutmeg, cinnamon, and sugar. And that is the filling. It's going to go inside a bunch of little ones of these once I roll them out. And, oh, speaking of which, a bunch of circles out. I cut a bunch of circles out with a martini glass. I call these cocktail glasses, not martini glasses. It's the same thing, but whatever. Story for another day. So, this has to warm up a little bit more. Floured surface, roll it out, nice and thin. Also, this is, like everything else this year, the puff pastry is so damn expensive now. Like, it's normally expensive for a pack of them. But this was like, it was like $8, and I'm like, are you kidding me? So the other thing with this site, but I noticed this, it used to be more so with my art shows and vending events and things like that, is I would be so excited that day that I basically couldn't eat all day long until that was over. Because this is a food event, I'm probably only going to eat little bits of the things that I'm working on throughout the day. And then, literally, I'm just scraping leftovers on the party day. It's so forcing myself to eat today is going to be a real challenge. Okay. This is an egg wash that's going to be very important. Gotta put them somewhere once I'm done. The thicker ones of these I will roll out just a little bit more. Be sure there's ample room. Now, this is my secret weapon for Christmas-esque pastries. Also certain pies. Pumpkin pie, peach pie, apple pie. Because you put a little extra cinnamon on the dough before you fill it. Rub that in to sort of season and flavor the dough just a little bit more. Now, the lower edge of the little wheel thing here gets dabbed in some egg wash. This is going to be to create a better seal and to be sure you're not leaking. I picked that trick up from I think when I started making bread or something like that. And you get just like a little teaspoon of this and blob it in there. And it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, but if you put any more of that in there, it leaks all over the place. So you want to get a little fold on it. And if you're familiar with pierogies, they're essentially making a fruit pierogi. And pinch the edges with your fingers. And there is a little apple turnover, which I will bake and it'll puff up into something about twice this size and 3 times as delicious. I suppose if you're more of the Eastern European descent, or if you lean more Jewish, it would be not pierogi, but pierogi or pierogi. But, you know. Okay, so I ended up with 27 of these, which is more than I thought it was. Just looking at it, it doesn't look like 27, but it is. I'm running out of room in my fridge, but luckily it's fairly chilly today. So in theory, I should be able to just cover these in plastic and throw them in my garage until I need them. You know, all the things that I do for this party, peeling these eggs to make deviled eggs has got to be the single biggest pain in the ass. Because I make a whole 18. And not having this thumb right now, it's making this so much more of a pain in the ass. Just little bits at a time, little bits at a time. Almost done though, it's going to be worth it, always is. I love deviled eggs, just sitting here peeling them, you know. I can't, it's just like, it's that little bit of a grip, you know, you have with the thumb. Nope, can't do it. I mean, I've got my other thumb, sorta. I actually chewed a nice chunk of my thumb out without realizing I was doing it last week. So that, technically this thumb isn't real good either. So both thumbs are kind of screwed up today. Okay, so first snack of the day. So leftover deviled egg filling. I decided to try and pipe it because I'm a maniac. They look fairly awful piped because my piping thing isn't real big, and well, judge for yourself here. They just look like swirly turds. They really do. Little thing of swirly turds. Luckily, put paprika on top. I'll over some garnish on, and no one's gonna give a shit. Okay, so it's 9:40. I'm actually pretty close. So it was short of baking things and real final prep, plating cookies, putting crackers in bowls. That I can do as things are in the oven. So now I should probably try to go back to bed. But I'm not gonna. I'm likely gonna sit and play games until noon. Because at noon, that's when things ramp back up again. Real quick, I will show you guys what's going on in the kitchen so far. Kitchen table, the citrus station, as it's, I guess, sort of known here in some of the higher class expensive liquors. These are the thing, just pour over ice kind of things, and the chicken's just going to sit here for a while. Now the back corner over here, which is normally cookbooks and stuff, this is my bar station. This is where I will be living for the bulk of the evening. Because despite doing all of the cooking and prep and all this stuff in advance, well, I also sit and make drinks all night because I really enjoy doing it. So, that is that. I will be getting blitzed later. That's the glass my drink goes in. And it's usually something different than what's on the menu. Menu, by the way, I'll come over here for you guys. I have displayed there. Feel free to pause that if you want to read it. But, yeah. So from here, it's really just plating the dry stuff and anything I don't have to worry about, and just other little setups in between. And then probably around 2, I'll get physically prepared, you know, shower off, freshen up, all that mess. So all I have to do at that point is just rotate stuff through the oven until 5. Okay, it's just about 3 o'clock. I'm out of the shower and it's time to bake. So we are starting with, oh, right, they're in the garage. Already forgotten. Also, the buffalo chicken dip has been sitting out because I didn't want to put the cold pan directly into the warm oven. So it's good now, it's just ready to go once I get it in there. Alright, peach turnovers. Okay, so before, and well, I better not grab that with my bare hand yet. The other pan needed a little more time. And after. They still leaked a little bit, but honestly, it's pretty minimal, and I'm not really that worried about it. But yeah, peach, apple, whatever fruit you want to, throw it in puff pastry, and they do this. Okay, change of shirt because I decided the one I had on some weird stains on it. Also, I've been wearing the same shirt that says Celebrity Coctologist on the back of it for like 3 or 4 years now, so time for something different, right? I don't really have a Christmas shirt. I'll have to wear my hat, maybe, if it decides to be less hot in here later. Not sure. So, temperature's going down to 350 from 400. And we're going to try out the pizza roll things. So they're not as pretty as my test batch earlier this year. Also, it should have been 375 and not 350, so it didn't puff quite as much as I was hoping. And the cheese leaked out and burnt a little, so these 2 that are a little burnt are mine. Oh man. Ow. Ow! They're good though. They're really good. I was telling a couple friends of mine about these earlier this year, or a couple weeks back. And I don't normally reveal stuff for the party, food-wise. But I was like, I'm super excited, I gotta tell you about this. And he's like, oh, you gotta put sauce in them. And I'm like, I don't think they need them. And honestly, even now, because of the volume of the fresh mozzarella, they really don't need them. Yeah, this was a good this was a good idea. Okay, so they're just not puffing up the way that I thought they were. Also, I'm starting to run out of time here. I'm coming up on 4:30 and I wanted to have the chicken closer to done by now. So, or at least like going in at this point. It's about 20 after 4. So, I gotta give you guys the wrap up soon. And really start plugging away at this. The chicken, because the chicken's gonna take some time. I want the buffalo dip in there, and yeah, I'm starting to get little there. Good news is, okay, so the thing, I think the reason, by the way, if you're trying to do this, why this didn't puff up, is because 1, I rolled out the dough, so don't do that, and 2, I floured it more, and also the fact that it's been chilling for like a day and a half. So I think that's the biggest factors on why these didn't puff up the way they should have. But they're still delicious. Okay, so real fast, here's the pizza roll things. I'm waiting on the last batch in the oven. Deviled eggs are in there. They will also get the center parsley treatment. Living room / dining room table. 2 bins of crackers, some pretzels, since I had some pretzels sitting around. This is the bruschetta from the other night. Down here on the studio table, I got plated cookies, peanut blossoms, chocolate chips, and bark, peanut butter, and gingerbread, and then the cherries, the peanut butter fudge, and some sugar cookies. These turn out pretty nice. They're going to stay nice and warm with the coated plastic and whatever. The big pile of popcorn chicken is going to be here. It's just going to be a big brown mound, essentially, so nothing really to see there. Deviled eggs will be there. Pizza things will be there, taking up the centerpiece. Dipping sauces, I've got garlic-infused oil with herbs, some hot maple mustard, and some vodka sauce, which I do need to heat up. I can't remember if I shared that one, but these are the jalapeno crackers I made in the week. The cheese is still in the refrigerator, but I decided to serve that on my cutting board, which should look really nice. I made little charts for what all of the cheese cuts look like, and the cheese also has honey mustard and a balsamic glaze that I made earlier this week too. So that's it for me this week. I will get a big final picture of this for you guys once I get there, but that's it for this vlog, somewhere between a studio vlog and a house vlog. I mean, this is the studio, but it's very different from what you're used to from me. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and from my studio to yours, this has been Cinderblock Studios. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Happy all the things. I gotta finish the food, so signing off. Here we go, finishing.